So last week's homework, the extra practice, I will say those for you so you can see if you got them correct. First one is greply, rectly. So number 3 is chimply. Number 4 is checkemp. 5 is drempy. That one was kind of tricky, but I have to do the tap too. No, neither of those are vowels, so that's going to say eh. Number 6 is chesting. 7 was friendplyme. We did that one together last time. 8 is plestrine. 9 is Lee-pen-treffy. Lee-pen-treffy. Number 2 is chefly. Now, please understand, especially if you're new, these are the words that they learned last time. They learned how to read. Remember, we're learning how to read the vowels within a word so that you can read any word. They didn't learn how to read these words specifically because that would just require memorization. We're learning the rules on how to read those. And let me just tell you, if you can read friendplyme and Lee-pen-treffy, you are a good reader. I don't care what anybody says. If you figured out what those vowels are, and if you figured out how to say chimply and checkemp and drempy just by applying the rules that you learned last time, you are a good reader, very good reader. Okay, so I'm going to change my chat to everyone because somebody in the chat wanted to know how to, I think you wanted to know how to blend this word, celebrity. Oh, I just said it. I'm actually going to put this one up here. So celebrity is a little bit of a rule breaker, but it follows most of the rules. And I think this is the one you wanted. So the C is going to make its soft sound because there's always a reason. Let me stop sharing and just mute everybody because now's the time when I have to mute everybody. Sorry, guys. So celebrity says it makes the C makes its soft sound because the very next letter is an E, I, or Y. So the rule for, here's a fun fact for the day. The rule for C and G, you know that both of those have two sounds, right? They make its hard sound, k and g, and they have a soft sound, s and j. And the rule is that they are always going to make their hard sound unless the very next letter is an E, I, or Y. That is the only time it's going to make its soft sound. And that's why this C sounds like an S, because that E is there. This E is the rule breaker. According to the tap 2 rule, it should say E. It doesn't, so we just have to deal with it. Sometimes rules just break the words, especially in English. This E says F because the next 2 letters are consonants. This I says it because of a rule I'm going to teach you today. And this Y comes at the end of a multi-syllable word. Y's at the end of longer words almost always make the long E sound. Great question, Rochelle. I have a feeling that that is not the word that you wanted, so I want you to stay after so I can make sure that I address the specific word that you wanted help with. Okay, so for now, let's go to the new lesson and learn about I this week. But first, let's do our phonemic awareness warm-up. The most important thing we can do for reading is to develop our phonological processing skills. So put in the chat if you know how many sounds in frog. I'm already getting some. How many sounds in frog? Stretch it out. Make sure you hear all of them. Good, Skylar. Put it in the chat. Yes. Frog has 4 sounds. S, g. That is why I put this word in here, because it's a 2-letter blend. We're talking a little bit about those. And when an L or an R is the second letter of a 2-letter blend, then that L or R is going to be hard to pull off the first sound. So fur, to a lot of people, sounds like one sound. So that's why I put that in here. We have to get really used to splitting off the, because it's voiceless. Remember, if there's a voiceless letter, it's going to want to, it's like a magnet, it's going to want to suck in the sound of the letter that's after it. So that has to remain only air. The gets its own sound. No sound in F at all. G. Same with L's. Bull or pull to a lot of people is one sound, but you have to break off the P from the O. When we learn how to break off all of these sounds, then the letters in words begin to have a lot more meaning, and your brain can process them a lot easier, a lot more easy when you go to blend the sounds to make a word. I wonder what this word was that I put this picture. Was it? Yes, yes. It's going to seem easy, but it might not be as easy as you think. How many sounds in cup? I think it was cup. That one was probably easy because in this case, it's the same amount of sounds as letters, so it's probably going to be a default. Cup. Yes, cup has 3 sounds, but I wanted to make sure that you got the off the k. 2 voiceless sounds. Only one has voice in it. How many, if that word was, I like your suggestion. Who was that? Lots of correct answers. Vanessa, I liked your suggestion. How many sounds in froth? Froth. This one's a lot harder. I like it. Froth. Take your time. Remember what I just taught you about 2-letter blends. If that second letter is an R or an L, you got to get it off there. Froth. Good. Excellent. So froth, yes, has 4 sounds. TH is a digraph, makes 1 sound. Excellent. Well done. Okay, let's amp it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. How many sounds in butterfly? Stretch it out. Get every single one. There's a lot of them in there. Take your time. Yeah, Ben, you can change your answer as many times as you want. Okay. Getting a lot of question marks. I'm not sure on this one. So let's try it. B is a very fast sound. You know that butterfly starts with a B, it starts with B, but you have to make that sound super fast as you can make it. Otherwise, it turns into ba, and there's an that comes at the end, like in butterfly. So some people might think that ba is 1 sound, but that's 2. So the sounds in butterfly are b, t, full I. 7. I'll do it again. Listen really carefully. You have to break off every tiny little sound. If you're thinking of the letters, put the letters out of your mind. It'll mess you up. Just working with the sounds. B, t, full I. Let's see how you did on that. I'm going to go back and look in the chat. Yeah, so wonderful. Nice. No, that was a hard one, you guys. That was a hard one. I want to put some hard ones in there. I just gave you cup, so I'm allowed to give you butterfly. All right. Okay, so welcome to I month. This is when we're going to learn all about I. I is the easiest vowel to learn because it is, how do I say this? It's a rule breaker, but it is a consistent rule breaker. You can count on it breaking the rules, and so it is a friendly little letter. It only makes two sounds. You know, A makes 8, I makes 2. So that's nice. Oh gosh, for the most part, I makes 2. We're going to work on the 2 sounds in this lesson. It can change to a schwa sound, but so rarely. So as an overview of what you're going to learn for the next 2 weeks, because December is a short month, I will almost always say it. It very rarely will say I. So in longer words, you're going to see I right in the middle a lot. You're going to go, oh yeah, she did say that I was right in the middle of words a lot. You're going to see I in the middle of longer words a lot. It's common. And if you do the tap 2 rule when I is in the middle of a longer word, it's going to break the rule. But it's going to break the rule all the time. So that's nice. So when you see I in the middle of a longer word, it's always going to say I. Right? That's nice, right? I will only say I once in a while. Usually there's a short word and there's a silent D at the end, like time or like. Okay? No American word is ever going to end in I. And that's going to have its own lesson here in next week, I believe. If you hear I at the end of a word, never spell it with an I. You're always going to use a Y, like multiply or fry or satisfy. Yes, the tap 2 rule for I, does it say its name? Yeah, it does. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let me just pull that up and we'll get going. Okay, so quick tap 2 review. When we come to a vowel, tap the next 2 letters. If either one of them is another vowel, the vowel that you are on will say its name most of the time. Does that sound familiar enough now that you kind of can finish my sentence? Tap the next 2 letters. If either one of them is another vowel, the vowel that you are on will probably say its name. If not, it will say its regular, common, short sound, I. Okay, so let me get my little pen out and let's go for it. So let me make this bigger. Okay, so I'm going to do my number 1. I'm going to circle my, there's one and there's one. So let's figure out what these are going to say. Tap 2, 1, 2. Yes, there's a vowel. Yes, it says its name. Here's another one. Tap 2. No, there's not a vowel. No, it doesn't say its name. And it makes its regular short sound I. So when you pencil read this word, it's I, D, I, dip. I dip. Sounds like 2 words, doesn't it? By the way, for those who are new, whenever I say pencil read, it means you're going to put a dot underneath each sound on the page that you have while you say its sound. That makes it a multi-sensory experience. And the more senses that you can involve, the more it kind of sinks into your brain. And it also keeps things lined up. So when you put a dot underneath each sound while you say the sound of it, you're using touch, you're using auditory, and you're using visual all at the same time. And you're also speaking. So that way it stays lined up. The sound that you are on is the sound that you're looking at. And so it just makes all of these, I want to say proper tracks. It solidifies the correct nerve, the correct pathways in your brain. When you say it correctly over and over and over while you're looking at the letter and saying its correct sound, then it begins to get more and more imprinted in your mind the correct way to say it. So that when you come to an unknown word, you won't be, your first impulse won't be to guess, because your brain will already recognize what to do and what it says. All right, so this word is IDIF. Let's try yours. Go ahead and mark your vowels, and I'll be quiet while you work. Okay, so if we pencil read it, it's I, voiceless sound, no voice. Don't make it ta. It's just t. I, t, I, b. Remember that super fast b? I, t, I, b. ITIB. ITIB. Will you put in the chat if you got ITIB? Let's see. Wow, nice. Okay, beautiful. Moving on to number 2. I'm going to circle my vowels. We're going to figure out what these I's say. Now, before, when I said that when you see I in the middle of a longer word, it always makes it short sound. By a longer word, I mean 3 syllables or more. It has to be sandwiched in the middle. It has to be the cream in the Oreo. Okay, so a longer word, 3 syllables or more. When I is actually in the middle, surrounded by 2 other syllables, meaning 2 other vowels. There's 2 other vowels in the word, and it's the middle vowel, then it will say I. So these right now are 2 syllable words. We don't have to worry about that. Okay. So I'm going to circle this guy, and figure out what they say. 1, 2, those are both consonants, so it's not going to say its name. It's going to say I. 1, 2, there's not another vowel there, so same thing, it's going to say I. When I pencil read it, s, t, both voiceless sounds, no voice. St, I, n, d, I, n. Stindin. Stindin. It's the blending that's the hard part. It's really important that you know the proper sounds of all of these consonants also. So let me just teach you about N real quick so that, and M, because I see that you have one in your number 2. So the correct sound for N, your tongue has to touch the top of your roof of your mouth, and it can't leave. Okay, so it's just and it's sustained. If you release your tongue, another sound will come in. Okay, we want the pure, clean, crisp sounds of all of the consonants. With the M, your lips have to stay together and they can't come apart. So it's just So it's not ma, and it's not na. It's a sustained, long sound. And That makes it easier when you're going to blend an unknown word because there's extra sounds aren't just floating around randomly without letters attached to them, okay? So let's try yours. Go ahead and mark it while I stay quiet so you can work. Okay, this one's a hard one, you guys. So don't feel bad if this one is tricky or if you don't get it all the way correct. I bet you're going to get a lot of it correct. Here's what it sounds like. Oh, that's another sustained sound with your tongue between your teeth. Oh, oh, I, n, st, I, m. When you blend it, it's plinstim. Plinstim. How did you do? Just put it in the chat. Let me see how we're doing on that one. That there is a reason. Good. Nice. There's a reason why that one was difficult that I want to tell you right now. Good job. Nice. Okay. So you're just brilliant. That one was supposed to be hard. And here's why. Let me get my whiteboard out. Because it involved an L. Remember I was telling you the R's and L's, when they're the second letter of a 2-letter blend, they can be difficult. When you are reading, if you ever make an error, it is very likely that it is due to an R, L, or N. And I know that I've said this before, but I want to give you an example today. So I just had a class prior to this, and the word was sped. Now, This word was super tricky because of all of these, because of R, L, and N, which none of them are in there, but all of them snuck in there, every single one. So I had 3 students in my last class. It's a private class, it's not like this one. And every single student made an error on this word with an R, an L, or an N. Those are the 3 most difficult letters to read. So the first student said spend. Did you hear where that N climbed in there? Right in here. They said spend. That N wanted to climb in there. The other one said splendid. They just went for it, right? And there was an L and an N that both snuck in there, plus a few other letters. Splendid. And then the other one, spread. That R click came in right there. Spread. So we had spend, spread, and splendid. And R, L, and N was the culprit every time. So when you're making an error, when you read a word, pay attention, because if you can catch it yourself, if you can hear that, wait a minute, there is no R or L or N in that word, or there is, and I didn't get it, or there is, but it's clear over there, then you will be your own teacher. And that's why this word was supposed to be hard, because of that L right there. I thought that more people would say pin stem or pin strim with that L and R getting mixed up, but you did a great job. Let's go over to my number 3. Okay, so here we have the I in the middle. So an I in the middle means it's the cream in the cookie. Has to have 2 vowels on both sides. And if that is the case, I want to say 100% of the time. I'm not 100% sure of that. So we're going to go with 99% of the time it's going to say I. So it's the most friendly, consistent rule breaker you'll meet in the alphabet. So I is, even though it says I here anyway, because of those 2 vowels after it. So if you see an I in the middle, it's a quick reading hack. It's going to say I. So let's tap 2 on these other ones. 1, 2. Yes, there's a vowel. Yes, it's going to say its name. I already know that one says I. Tap 2 on this one. 1, 2. No, there's not a vowel. No, it's not going to say its name. It's going to say I. So this word is I, s, I, s, t, I, n. Isistin. Isistin. If you'll notice when I blend, it's all in one breath. Be really careful about slipping some breaths in there when you blend, because that makes it a lot more difficult. If you can do it all in one breath, like you're going to sing it. You can even sing it if that helps, because when you sing it, it's all in one breath. Isistin. Whatever it takes to make sure that it's all one breath, then reading becomes a lot easier. All right, let's do your number 3. I'm looking for some moving lips to see how you're doing. I'm a pretty good lip reader. I can, yeah, I think you've got it, Vanessa. So here we have I, O, I, S, T, I, M. I list him. I list him. Did you get it? Nice, nice. I list him. Yes. I list him. Okay, let's try number 4. Here I am on mine. Make that one smaller. Nope. You guys are getting a little better at navigating drawing with the mouse, wouldn't you say? I think I am anyway. Okay, I'm going to tap 2, 1, 2. Yes, it's a vowel. So yes, it's going to say its name. Tap 2, 1, 2. No, it's not a vowel. So no, it's not going to say its name. When we pencil read it, it's There's that two-letter blend with the R at the second letter. It's going to be hard to just be the boss of that R. Make sure that he doesn't do anything crazy. I, N, I, D. Frynid. All one breath. Frynid. Frynid. Try yours. Yes, Susan, that was it. You got it. I'm pretty sure you got it. So here's how you say it. Oh, there's an L, second letter of a two-letter blend. Oh, I, I, D. Plymid. Plymid. Yeah, I love that smile. Yay. Plymid. Oh, I hope you guys all got that one. If not, perfection is not required. Baby steps are still steps, and effort moves mountains. All right, we have 1 minute left. Which extra practice word would you like me to do with you? Put it in the chat. You got it. Number 5. She was first, so I'm gonna go with the one that she wants. Okay. So I'm going to try to do this one just by looking at it. I can tell that this I is going to say I because I can see that there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. I can tell that this I is going to say it because I can see that there's not another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. Okay. So this word is der. 2 sounds. Don't forget. Drymish. Drymish. This is a digraph. Makes 1 sound. Drymish. Okay, I saw a couple other requests. I'm going to do one more. If you have to go, feel free. Number 8. Okay, so I can tell that this one's going to say I because of that double consonant. That's a quick giveaway. I know that this one's going to say I because there's 2. That was a V. It's got to be a little U there. Because of those 2 consonants, and this one's also going to say I because of those 2 consonants. I'm going to be quiet while Sandra tries it because I can tell you're trying. Be careful. I think I saw an SH. I think I saw an SH sound in the middle because your lips were kind of like this. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I'm not that good of a lip reader. So when you're saying these 2 S's, make sure that your mouth is wide. So it's plissimtrip. Plissimtrip. How'd you do? Did you get it? Nice. Plissimtrip. So these are your extra practice for next time. And is there something, if you want to put in the chat before you go, is there anything that I can do to make your homework easier or to help you when you are in class? And then, yeah, good point. If there's anything I can do to make your homework easier or help you in class, let me know. Okay, so now the time is yours. I have 3 minutes. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself now, or you can put it in the chat. I love how you all stick around on here just to learn from other people's questions and answers. I just love how you just soak it all in. You're like, what's your question? Let's see if I know the answer, or let's see what the answer is.